Hello there, survivors, and welcome back to more ARK Survival Ascended. Today, I've built this giant futuristic breeding facility that should definitely be big enough for all of your different breeding projects, as well as just providing a safe home for all of your lovely tames, with big rooms on the first layer to hold even the biggest tames like gigas and karchas, and of course plenty of space to hatch new tames and let them grow up in the safety of your own facility. Then on the next layer we actually have the whole survival layer, so with all the crafting stations, your sleeping pod, the storage as well, and you actually also have the roofs of the two side wings that you can also use for even more of your tames, maybe for those that you don't have room for on the inside, but also of course all of your flyers to easily land them there safely and enter your crafting zone. Then there's a few more layers on top, actually one dedicated to your flyers that you can only reach by flying in and out, because let's be real, you'll probably be flying around this base anyway with how big it is. So you have a nice big layer to park all of those safely, and of course you can do more breeding up there specifically for your flyers. And all the way at the top there's even a little greenhouse as well. Now, to really show you the size of this breeding facility, I have filled it with a bunch of different tames. Actually, I filled it with all of the different animated costumes that are available for creatures, because this video is sponsored. If you didn't know yet, the ARK Animated Costumes pack adds 109 different costumes for both you and your creatures. So if you enjoy the look of ARK the Animated series, you can bring it into your own game as well. Choose your favorite character to be yourself, and of course, dress up a lot of your creatures. So the pack mostly includes brand new costumes for you and your creatures, but it also instantly unlocks all of the Dear Jane skins that normally you have to go around the island and find all the nodes hidden around. So in today's video, we'll take a tour of the entire breeding facility to show off the size and hopefully the practical function that you could use a base like this for, because as I said, it is quite big, so your breeding projects will definitely be safe on the inside. And at the same time, we'll take a look at all the different animated costumes that are available right now, and there's quite a lot of them, and they look pretty cool in my opinion. So about the base itself, it is quite a big base. It's slightly above the official limit, so if you're looking for a big breeding base on official settings, you might have to change some things up, like maybe using more large walls, and also probably cutting off an area of the build. So either have one of the side wings, maybe leave that out, or after a certain level, maybe above the crafting layer, cut off the top of the tower, and I think you will still have a pretty cool looking base. If you would like to see a full step-by-step build tutorial for this base, please let me know down in the comments below. And if you want to know more about the ARK Animated Costume Pack, check out the link down below. So here we go. This is my futuristic breeding facility, and it's looking quite good. I've built it here on a big island on Australis, right on the beach, so I also had some possibilities to add some docks in the front and park my water tames. There is no water pen, but they're kept safe by the turrets around the sides of the build. So yeah, you can go right up to the edge. If you want to know where I've exactly built this, I've built it right here on the map on the beach of this rather big island, so that all my lovely water tames, like of course my favorite, the Megalodon, are just right here chilling out, showing their smiles and enjoying the safety by these turrets here on the side. But you can already see some of the lovely creatures. And as I said, it is a rather big build. So basically it consists of a few different areas. You've got the side wings on each side that you can have a bunch of tames in. And then you have the middle portions as well, with some bigger gateways for maybe some of your bigger creatures like a giga. And then on the side wings on the top, of course, you have more space for your tames. I've decorated that by painting the thatch in the filth color to make it look like grass, and then using JVH landscaping to kind of have a bunch of plants on the top as well. Of course, you could easily also get some plants with the shovel and the plant pots. And of course, we got some big cellar doors, so in case you want to drop off tames into the building, you can also do that from above. Then on the middle layer on here, you can see the crafting storage facility in the middle. So that's kind of your whole survival base. And then as well for the bigger tames, you can easily park most of them up here if you run out amount of space on the inside. Well, maybe almost all of them, obviously. I mean, I think technically he might be able to fit on top, but it's just getting him on top of there that might be the issue. So for now, he's just chilling there to the side. But yeah, and then we have, of course, the middle part. I quite like the look of it. It's a very clean and modern futuristic aesthetic here with big windows and cool you know, funky designs for like a cool modern shape to the build with all the different layers. So yeah, we have like the flyer layer right here that you can see. There's still plenty of space. You could do way more than there. Maybe have some breeding going up for your flies as well. And then of course at the top layer, we even have the greenhouse there. So let's go into the build and take a closer look at the build itself, at all the space it offers, as well as of course some of these cool skins. And I do really like the vibe of the animated skins. I think it would be quite fun to do like a fully animated playthrough at some point. Definitely are some really cool ones in, and I like the way that it actually uses the colors of the creatures, so you still can have pretty unique colors, and in some cases it even slightly changes the patterns that they will usually have to something new and fresh. So it is quite a fun take, and I think cosmetics are a pretty harmless way to spice up your game without getting like any, you know, unfair advantages. But yeah, we have some of the water tames here, including all of the big guys that have to be a little bit further out in the water, but they're still chilling here, like the Moses right there. And then we also have the plesiosaur right over here too. So yeah, they're all just kind of chilling here on the edge of the water, and then we have got some more of them right over here as well. So yeah, of course, feeding troughs to still feed the water tames that are parked out in front. Got a Capro here, we got a little saber tooth here guarding this entrance, and as you can see, we got some clean lines. The black and white combination I think always really works well for these modern builds. And then I've tried to create like a very much a sci-fi door here, a little bit of something out of Star Wars. So basically I've built around the big cellar doors to kind of get these cool creations, and then if you open them you really don't see anything anymore, which is I think a really cool effect. And yeah, just a really nice and clean aesthetic. We've got a bigger version of those doors actually right here in the middle, and if you walk in the middle it's actually the best way. Let's see if we can do this right the first time. So yeah, in the middle it will open both doors, because yeah, these are two different doors at the same time, and then you can enter the base, and it looks really cool, like some big hangar door force field that is kind of keeping it safe. That's at least what I tried to go for. So yeah, we got some more room for creatures out here, of course. So we got little Froggy out here, the turtle. We got a very happy Bazzy just standing out of the water here. We got some little fish here as well. All of them have some pretty cool looks to them, I'm not gonna lie. And then we have a little dolphin here, little anglerfish, and a manta here too. And of course a berry looking ready for action, ready to go to do some caves, I suppose. Looking quite cool. We got some more here, and then I think it's time to go and take a look inside of the base. But yeah, you can see the turrets are definitely doing their job of keeping my water tame safe, although maybe, you know, expanding it with a water pen might not be a bad idea if you really want to breed a bunch of water tames. But yeah, that would be an even bigger base, so had to limit myself somewhere. But yeah, you can see on the inside we have a lot of different tames, because all of the creatures from the pack are available here in this base. So first of all, we have these corners that are utilized to get some cryo fridge storage in place, as well as some regular storage, just in case, you know, you need some of the things that you might need for the breeding projects or your creatures or whatever. We have a bunch of them lined up here, the Elo, Carno, and everything quickly lined up, and you can see some of the cool different color palettes that they get, and slightly different patterns that some of them get as well, which is pretty cool. But yeah, you have quite a decent amount of space, of course, feeding troughs to make sure that everything is fed. Over here we got another one of these sections, similar decoration. So we have a little fridge for maybe your kibble, but also just keeping eggs, of course, if you want to do that. We've got some more creatures all the way around us. standing tall. And again, yeah, some of these actually get some really cool new patterns, so it's really a fresh take on creatures that you might already know normally. We got this little guy sleeping out here, as well as some extra storage in this hole. Of course, you can utilize this space as much as you need to. You can see some bigger creatures easily fit inside as well. We've got the embryo stuff and the traits here as well. If you want to get any of that going, of course, needs to be available in a big breeding facility like this. And then to the other side, we have even more space for all of our different creatures. So yeah, there's more of them here. We got some of these hatching areas as well, so you can easily throw down your eggs, hatch them, and then we have more cryo storage available as well. Of course, any big breeding base probably wants to have those. And then we have a bunch more room here for all of your different creatures, as you can see. And the way the glass works, it actually helps with keeping creatures inside, as you will see with the Spinotail in the special, because of course that sticks out quite a little bit further. But because of this glass, there's actually a nice little boxy area at the back where you can have some of those long tails kind of sweeping around without poking out on the outside. But yeah, you can see we got a bunch of these creatures in here quite easily without really running out of too much space. We could definitely have some more. I mean, you probably won't always have them lined up this neatly, but you could have a bunch of females lined up and then maybe park a male in front, you know, if you're doing some dedicated breeding projects, and you would still have plenty of space to move about. We've got another of these hatching bays right here. Probably you would want to have a hatching bay on each of the sides and then have a little bit of the storage on each of the sides as well, so that you don't have to run back and forth too much. But yeah, you can see there's a decent amount of space in here, decent amount of height, so even bigger creatures can fit inside without bumping your head all the time. And then you have easy access, of course, in this case for me, to the access to the water, but normally you could of course also just have access to the land. And in the middle you actually can go and leave from both sides. So in this case, this would be my way to get onto the land and go on adventures that way. But as you will see, you do want to try and leave through the middle for the best effect, of course. But yeah, I would say this is a decent amount of space to do some breeding, and you definitely could do quite a bunch. And then back here we actually have the elevator, so let's call that down, because of course I wanted to also have at least a way to get into your crafting area without needing to fly, because I would always make sure that, I mean, you know, if you respawn, you probably respawn in that crafting area. But yeah, I would always make sure to have a flyer on that layer. But I figured, you know, it would be nice to still be able to just manually go up to at least this main layer where all the crafting and storage is. And then for the other layers, I think it's fine to fly, because usually you probably would be doing that anyway. So yeah, we got a bunch of more stuff in here, as well as a bunch of the little shoulder pads, or just smaller creatures in general. But we also have room for all of the crafting stations here inside of the base, as well as some sleeping pods, the personal cryo fridge, a teleporter, the replicator can easily fit inside as well. The industrial forge is no problem fitting inside, so you can even fly in easily through the front, drop off your Enki, start smelting all the stuff. You got all the crafting stations easily available with some funky friends around us. Cryo fridges more. We have a lot of storage right here, including some dedicated storage as well. We got feeding troughs, of course, just to make sure that everything is still fed here as well. We got our bestest friend out here looking and making sure everything is well and safe. And we have a pretty cool view from the front here too. And you can of course appreciate your water tames if you do end up building on the beach like I did. And then if we continue, we have a little kitchen area down to the side here as well, with some more lovely tames, you know, just chilling out here. I really like the way all of these guys look. They're very, very cute. And yeah, you have a bunch of different costumes, of course. I really like this one from the animated series, but there's plenty to choose from. So these skins are actually the new ones for this pack specifically. So you have a few completely new costumes for your character, but you also get access, as I said, to all of these skins. So there's actually quite a few of them. So I'm sure there's someone or something that you really can enjoy yourself. I think Bob, of course, is an icon, so can't really go wrong with Bob either. So yeah, we have a lot of space around here, as you can see, for easily flying in your tames. You could easily park a flyer right here, of course, if you're dropping off stuff or if you're bringing stuff. And then we got the two side wings of the breeding facility, so we've got some more tames chilling up here as well, just kind of hanging out. And as I said, we got a bunch of plants up here just to kind of bring some extra life to the place. I really always like this effect. And we got the cellar doors if you want to drop off your tames into the base itself. But bigger tames that maybe don't fit quite inside, you can easily also park up here. They should be relatively safe, especially if you place some turrets on the corners. They should even be safe if there's some flying pests in the area that might annoy them otherwise. But yeah, you can park even your bigger creatures around quite easily and enjoy some luscious greenery, you know, have your own little garden to walk around in and enjoy your base. On the other side, we have some more space. We got some more creatures as well, but mostly, oh, so there's also one there. Mostly we have a lovely little guarded area again to just kind of appreciate. But yeah, I think you definitely won't be running out of spaces to park tames and, you know, kind of fly in and drop off tames if you need to, or heal them, get them ready for boss fights, whatever you want to do. Of course, breeding definitely should have enough space out here for sure. And again, easy access to the base if you want to drop off creatures easily to the inside. But then we can actually continue. So then you would need a flyer to go to the next layer, which is also where I would park all the flyers that you aren't using. And you could add here some more breeding facilities as well. So maybe you want to have a little hatching corner here too, more cryo fridges to sort all of your flyers. But yeah, we do have all of our flying friends right in here as well. You can see you can easily even park in the quets, even with a saddle on top of him, maybe platform saddle. You could still easily fly in and out. There's quite a big entrance here. We've got the Ryaneth on the side, so it doesn't start flying every time you relog. And then we have our little flying friend up here as well, just creepily hanging out up there. But yeah, more importantly, you just have a bunch of space up here. Big windows as well, so you can appreciate the views around you. We got the other flyers back here too. But yeah, as I said, there's definitely plenty of more space to utilize this if you want to use it for something different, or you want to do more breeding projects for flyers up here. There is a bunch of space all around this base. So yeah, all the way on the top we have the greenhouse up here, which yeah, gives you a nice functional greenhouse, but also probably the greenhouse with a pretty amazing view from this high. So yeah, we got all our plants here, we got some snails crawling around, and we got of course our dung beetle making some fertilizer, as well as our bee just chilling out here as well. I don't think there's a skin for the hive itself, but at least you got a pretty cool looking bee one. And yeah, of course, everything that you need. We've got a fridge, plenty of crop plots to grow some plants up here, and make sure that you got everything you need for your taming and adventures. You know, you can grow it all from the same base. And yeah, pretty nice, I think, at least. Like, this is, it's pretty big, of course. As I said, it is slightly over the official limit. An official service should have no problem. If you do want to see a tutorial, I'll probably see if I can try and get the exact count what you could do on official. I think if you cut it off above this layer, so you know, you make this the top layer, it would still look pretty cool. And I think that might save you enough with leaving all of this out. If that is not the case, yeah, then you might have to cut down one of the wings, maybe. We'll see. We'll try and get it closer to the official limit, see if it works. I also don't know, because of course this in front is very specific to my location. You don't really necessarily need it. If you just have stairs straight away, might save you a few structures as well. And then of course, with using some larger walls instead of just singular walls everywhere, it might save you a bunch of structures as well. But as you can clearly see, it's a very big breeding facility, but it has plenty of space for a number of tames, because we have all of the animated creatures just easily fitting inside. I was a little bit worried for a moment when I started placing them down that I was going to run out of space, but turns out that was for nothing because we have plenty of space for all of the different creatures. And as I said, I think the custom cosmetic way of, you know, getting some skins, cosmetics for your creatures, that's a totally fine way to do it. If you want it, it's a really cool and fun addition to get some different looks for the creatures that you know and love. And if you don't, nothing the wiser. Like, it doesn't give you any advantage or disadvantage, except the advantage of looking pretty cool. I would actually be quite happy if they would add some more building skins as well. I love the frontier skins, the steampunk skins, the wasteland skins. So yeah, getting more of those I would definitely love. But I also quite like having some optional different looks for some of my creatures as well. And these are pretty cool. Again, I really love my little Megalodon out here. Really like the look. It changes the patterns on this one quite a bit, which is quite cool to see. Yeah, and it's just a nice fresh look. I really like it. And again, if you want to check out the ARK Animated Costumes Pack, this video is sponsored by it. So if you want to check it out, the link is down below. You can get it for $15 or 15 euros in my case, which I think is a fair deal with the amount of skins you get. Because, I mean, there's definitely games where you get like one skin for a similar price. So yeah, you get a lot. And yeah, you can have a bunch of creatures with cool skins. And I like that the saddles actually also get the skin when you apply them, because that, you know, helps a lot with the immersion of these animated creatures. But yeah, there we go. So that is going to be it for today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed this big breeding facility and all the ARK animated costumes. Thank you so much for joining me today. Don't forget to leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it, and let me know down in the comments below if you would like to see a full step-by-step build tutorial for this one. And then as always, I hope to see you in the next video. For now, goodbye.